This is a police body camera file from a small beach town in New Jersey. On the surface, it is a shouting match between two officers. Underneath it, there is a chain of evidence quietly coming apart, and 3 cameras that cannot agree on what time it is. We have removed 100% of the original audio and scored this ourselves. Everything you are about to hear is our own commentary. Where we slow something down, crop it, or freeze it, there's a label on screen telling you so. Watch the top right corner of the frame. That is the camera's own burned-in stamp, and it is to do a great deal of work in this video. November 9th, 2023, 22:39 and 36 seconds, 10:39 at night. The call is a motor vehicle crash on Main Street in Bradley Beach, Monmouth County. An ambulance crew is already working. The driver would later be charged with driving while intoxicated. So from this moment on, this is not just a crash scene. It is an active DWI investigation, and that distinction is the entire video. 2 men matter here. The sergeant working the crash is William Major. The man who arrives to speak to him is Leonard Guida, the chief of police. Guida outranks every officer on this street, including the one running this scene. The chief is not in uniform. He is not on duty. And the first thing he raises with the sergeant working the crash is not the crash. It is the sergeant's jacket and the police lettering on the back of it, which has worn away in the wash. We punched into the chief's own jacket at full resolution to see what he was wearing while he raised it. It is a commemorative golf outing jacket. 30th annual, dated June the 8th. We point that out for one reason. It establishes that the man raising a uniform standard at a crash scene at 10:30 at night was himself dressed for a golf course. Now the sergeant's answer. He says, over and over, some version of a single sentence. Chief, I am on a DWI. Most people hear that as an irritated man saying he is busy. It is closer to a legal statement than that, and it is worth understanding why. A drunk driving case in New Jersey is not proved by an officer's opinion. It is proved by procedure, and the procedure has a clock inside it. Before a breath sample can be taken, the suspect has to be under continuous observation for a full 20 minutes. The point is to be certain that nothing has gone into the mouth and nothing has come back up that could corrupt the reading. That rule comes from the New Jersey Supreme Court in a 2008 decision called State v. Chun, and the burden does not sit with the driver. The state has to prove, by clear and convincing evidence, that the observation actually happened. Interrupt it, and the 20 minutes start again from zero. Lose it, and the breath reading can be excluded altogether. So when a sergeant working a DWI says he cannot step away and keeps saying it, he is not being difficult for the sake of it. He is protecting the one part of the case a court will weigh in numbers.
Freeze it here. The man in the middle of the frame in the zip-up jacket is the chief. This is roughly 4 seconds before the moment this file is famous for. What happens next is on the audio, and it happens in one order. The chief reaches out and makes contact first. The sergeant tells him not to touch him. Then the sergeant takes hold of him and puts him back against the rear of a car. He does not strike him. He does not take him to the ground. He holds him there, and then he lets go. And here is something worth knowing before you watch it, because nobody who wrote about this file mentioned it. At the instant of contact, the release cuts to the second camera. That second camera is the sergeant's own, and it is mounted on his chest. So at the exact moment he takes hold of the chief, the lens is pressed against the man he is holding. What you get is the roof of a car. The most quoted 4 seconds of this recording are, on the video, almost entirely audio, which is worth remembering the next time a still frame from a body camera is offered to you as the whole story.
There's the cut. Camera 168, chest mounted at the moment of contact. A car, a road, and a set of legs. 10 seconds later, that same camera is level again, and the argument has already moved on. If you came to this file for the shove, that is all of the shove there is. We're not going to tell you that was justified, and we're not going to tell you it was not. An internal review examined that exact question, and we will tell you what it concluded before the end of this video. What we can do first is something none of the news coverage of this file did. We can read the cameras. This is not one body camera. It is 3 of them, cross-cut together, and every one of them signs every frame with its own device number in the top right corner. We stepped through all 6 minutes and 13 seconds, 1 second at a time, and sorted every frame by that device number. Camera 262 carries the spine of the file. Camera 168 supplies 4 inserts, including the contact you just watched. Camera 280 appears once for 4 seconds. Then we read the clocks. The clocks do not match. Here is how we know the edit itself is honest. Every time this film cuts away to another camera and comes back, the first camera resumes at exactly the wall clock time it would have reached if it had never stopped. We check that at every cut. Not 1 second is missing. This is a real-time cross-cut of one continuous scene, which means all 3 cameras were filming the same seconds. And on those same seconds, camera 168 reads 2 minutes and 7 seconds earlier than camera 262. Every single time, camera 280 reads 3 minutes and 32 seconds earlier. 3 cameras, 1 scene, 3 different times. That is not an editing artifact. That is 3 devices whose internal clocks were never brought into line with one another. It sounds like a footnote. It is not. Body camera timestamps are how an investigator rebuilds a scene that nobody filmed from a single angle. Who moved first? Who said what and when? If you build that timeline by laying 3 cameras side by side and trusting the numbers burned into the corner, and 2 of those cameras are minutes out, you get a sequence of events that never happened. Now, the part of this file that matters more than the shove. Listen to what the chief starts doing next.
Hold it here. In the space of about 40 seconds, the chief does 3 things in escalating order.
He tells the sergeant he is relieved.
He tells him to go and wait for him at headquarters. Then he tells him he is suspended. Relieving an officer of duty is a real command authority, and a chief genuinely holds it. It exists for the officer who cannot safely continue. It is not designed to be the last word in an argument. But look at what is standing on the other side of that order. There is an active drunk driving investigation on this street, and the officer being removed from it is the one running it. Every observation he has made since he arrived, he made as a witness. So the order does not simply move a person. It hands the case to someone who did not see the driving, did not see the crash, and did not begin the observation. Whatever else that order was, it had an evidentiary cost attached to it.
And the sergeant's answer is the tell. If I'm suspended, he says, then I'm going home. Not inside. Home. He is telling his chief that a suspension is a thing with consequences, and that he is not going to pretend it is a way to win a conversation. This is camera 168 again, the second insert. By now, the officers on this street are managing 2 situations at once. The crash in front of them and the argument behind them. And this is the moment that turned a bad night into an investigation. Another officer is asked what he saw. The answer is on the recording. The recording is a public record. And once it is a public record, it is no longer something a department can settle quietly among itself. Which raises the obvious question. If the subject of a complaint is the chief, then who investigates it? Not the department. New Jersey wrote that rule down. Under the state attorney general's internal affairs policy, when the subject of an internal affairs investigation is the chief, the police director, the sheriff, or the head of internal affairs itself, the case goes to the county prosecutor or to the attorney general's office. An agency does not get to investigate its own commander. So the Monmouth County prosecutor's office took it, and it had already begun. An anonymous complaint about the chief had arrived 3 months before this crash, in August of 2023. This night is what widened it. The prosecutor's report landed on March the 1st, 2024. 28 sustained violations of department policy and attorney general protocols across a series of incidents running from July of 2022 to this November night. 17 months. The night on your screen accounts for only a fraction of them. The report describes a chief who berated subordinates at length, who told one officer he would never be promoted and never should have been hired. And it describes a complaint from a black man who believed the chief had racially profiled him on a summer evening in August. The county prosecutor, Raymond Santiago, put it in a single line. The chief, he wrote, had been an active hindrance to the very law enforcement agency he was entrusted to lead. Leonard Guida retired the same day the report was released, 6 months early. And here is the piece most of the coverage skipped. Retiring is not only an exit, it is a jurisdictional move. A department disciplines employees. Once a chief is no longer an employee, there is very little left to discipline. The borough council tried regardless. It voted to open disciplinary proceedings days after he was already gone. Guido went to court, and a judge invalidated that vote on the ground that the council had not given proper notice of the meeting. And the sergeant, William Major, was cited for a violation as well, for his own conduct in the argument. Both men came out of that report with something against their name. One last thing we want to be straight about. None of this is a criminal case. Nobody on this street was charged over what happened between them. These were administrative findings made in an internal affairs process, and an administrative finding is not a conviction. What this file is, in the end, is a small argument on a beach town street that a camera happened to be recording. That is the only reason any of it is known at all. 3 cameras that could not agree on the time still agreed about that. Thanks for watching.